Hey guys, today we are going to focus on the music part of Love, Miles and Music. And one question I get asked time and time again is, how do you get your tone? What kind of guitars do you play to get those tones? And your whole recording process. Tell us more about that. So today I thought I would do exactly that. And so first of all, we're going to focus on the guitars that I have in my studio. Now, I will tell you that I am not an avid guitar collector. I'm actually, believe it or not, that interested in guitars. I am interested in getting the tones and sounds out of the instruments that I need in order to get the results that I want. And that's as far as it goes. I am not obsessed with collecting guitars and seeing what they can do. I think one of the reasons is that I don't want them to go into a closet and never be played. They're simply tools for me. I'm much more interested in the results, in the song, in the composition, in the production, and these things just simply help me do that. Okay, so first of all, let's go through these guitars. I've only got 7 left. I've actually sold a few, and I've only got the guitars that I use in the studio for my productions. Anyway, so let's first of all look at this very handsome devil right here. This is a Fender Strat, and I've actually had a few Fender Strats. This is my very favorite of all of them, and I've had this, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years, something like that. I put new pickups in there. These are Lindy Fralin pickups. One of the reasons I did that is I am a huge Jeff Beck fan. You'd never know it listening to me, but I loved his touch and his taste, and he was nuts about Fender Strats. So I've had this, and it's been a workhorse for many years. What I do with this instrument is very limited. I generally use it as a rhythm instrument in my productions, and pretty much it does 2 things, or so far in my productions that's what it's done. So whenever you hear a line like this, like a rhythm guitar part, which you might something like this, something like that, very typical, something I might do over a groove. It's going to be played on this instrument. Quite often I use that sound. It's a little bit funkier and grittier. Now the other thing I will play on this guitar might be a skanky rhythm guitar part like this, like something like that. And sometimes I will overdub 2 little guitar parts, so I might do something like, and I might play a little harmony below it, or whatever it is. So those 2 parts, something like that, you know what I mean? And I'll pan them left and right, and there'll be a nice funky, very 70s sounding thing. And that's kind of all I'll do on this guitar. So that's about it for this beauty. This is a Takamini classical guitar, or should I say nylon acoustic, because it's not really a classical guitar. But I can't even remember how long I've had this. I believe when I moved to the States in February 1991, I brought with me 2 guitars, and this was one of them. I wanted a nylon string guitar, and I wanted an electric guitar so I could at least get on and practice as soon as I arrived here. And I believe I bought this in London in the late 80s, and this has been with me, I mean, my goodness me, it's been through the wars, I can tell you that. I remember when I first moved here, I would play weddings and restaurant gigs playing classical music, and I would plug this into an amp, which is what you can do, which is quite handy. And I remember even stabbing this guitar by mistake. And look, you can see there's a hole there. I don't know how I did it, but it probably fell on something. And I even patched it with some kind of wood patch. I mean, I don't even care what it looks like, but the great thing about this guitar is it's got very low action, and I can do these really cool little pseudo-classical lines that you might be very familiar with on some of my recordings. So I might do something like this. Something like that, and that might be on the left side. On the right side of the mix, I might go things like that. I've done that so many times on my recordings. I can give you an example. There's a song called Moonchild. I think that's on Sunlight, the album, and there's a very, very familiar line like that on that one song. So you can even check it out. And this is the guitar I do all those kinds of things on. Anything kind of arpeggiated. I might do like a strummy thing, but I'm not really into that kind of thing anymore. Certainly not on a nylon string. Anyway, so that's this guitar, and it's invaluable, to tell you the truth. All right, let's look at this guy. This is my pride and joy. This is a Sergio Perez Segovia model classical guitar made in Madrid, Spain. And I bought this in Los Angeles at a shop called Guitar Salon. And I must have tried 15 guitars. I was ready to give up. And they brought me this, and it is just beautiful. It was louder than most other classical guitars, which I wanted. I wanted something to really, really speak. And I have not been practicing classical guitar, but I can certainly, maybe I'll add a little classical guitar thing that I recorded. But it is absolutely beautiful, you know. So anything that requires a big stereo sound and I'm playing solo, this is the guitar I would do it on. So any of the classical guitar things that you've heard, any of the Bach renditions that I've done, or even on my Wonderful World album, there's a song called My Foolish Heart, which was done on this, and it's just got this huge sound to it. But this is not an instrument that I would record these little parts that I might do on this Takamini guitar, because it occupies too much space. It needs its own thing. It needs the light shone on this thing. It just takes up so much beautiful room. And when I do record, I do multiple mics. I'll do one mic over here, one mic over here, and one mic in the middle, and I'll pan them out, and it's just huge. It's beautiful. So yes, it took me a long time to get a really, really great classical guitar. And if there was a fire, this is probably the first instrument I'd grab and save. Let's look at this guy. This is a Martin laminate top, which basically means it's not a wood top, it's a laminate top. But again, it's actually not a super expensive guitar, but I wanted a guitar that I could play rhythm guitar parts and get a nice big sound if I needed to. And this has been quite a workhorse. I actually haven't played it for a long time. I'm not really a great steel string acoustic guitar player. I just don't have the chops or the patience to tell you the truth. But once in a while I can strum on it, you know. It's got a nice big open tone, and oh, and also once in a while I'm thinking of a song called I Ain't Mad At Ya on an album called Groovalicious. You probably would remember a part that went something like this. Ow. If you remember that, that was done on this very guitar, along with hundreds of other songs, I would imagine. Let's look at this guy. Okay, this is a very interesting guitar, and I use it once in a great while. This is a Eastman high-strung instrument, and it was given to me by my great friend Tom Rotella. And I'm not quite sure why he gave it to me. I seem to remember him having two of them, and he didn't need the other one. So he gave it to me, and I think it was something to do with the as a little bonus payment for some productions that I did for him. Anyway, I love him for giving me this guitar. It's fabulous. It's really interesting. Check this out. I knew nothing about a high-strung guitar before he gave me this, and it's fascinating. Check this out. So the way it's tuned is the top two strings are tuned like a normal guitar, but the bottom four strings are tuned up the octave like this. So it's tuned like a regular guitar, but the bottom four strings are up the octave. So when you play a chord like this, I mean, it almost sounds like a harp, you know? And of course, this guitar is perfect for all that strummage, you know? I mean, you certainly couldn't play jazz on it, you know? I guess you could, but it might sound a bit weird. Anyway, so that's this guitar. I love it. Thank you, Tom Rotella. All right, let's get to my kind of unique sounding jazz guitars that I've been working with since 1996. And as many of you know, I've been playing Benedetto guitars for a long time, and I've had a few of them too. My first one was made for me by Bob Benedetto in 1996, and he made it for me specifically. I've actually got it up for sale right now because it's sitting in a closet and I never use it, and I prefer these later models right now. But this is an anniversary guitar. I played this for a number of years live. This was my instrument of choice, and it's an absolutely beautiful guitar. It's a laminate top. I think the whole thing's laminate apart from the neck, and it's got very loud Seymour Duncan pickups. So I mean, I suppose it's a good thing. You've got to be careful not to play too loud though. So I mean, I can play all the jazz I want on this. Beautiful guitar. However, it's not as good as my latest one. So finally, I have this somewhat new Benedetto guitar. It's a customized Bambino model, and I've had this a few years now. This is basically my number one instrument, and I absolutely love it. I've been playing it on maybe the last 5 albums, and certainly the last 5 years I've been touring with it, and it never lets me down. I did change the pickups for the simple reason that the Seymour Duncans are very, very loud, so I put Lindy Fralins in there, which I love the sound of, and they're a little less loud, so I feel like I can control this instrument a little bit more. But the Seymour Duncans were beautiful pickups. They just, you know, I just wanted to be able to control them a little bit, you know. Anyway, so that's it. That's about all I've got with these guitars, and perhaps we'll have a look at my amps next. What do you think? So here we are. Let's have a quick look at my recording rig and also my touring rig, because it's exactly the same pretty much. Well, that's not entirely true. I do have some plugins that I use for reverbs and delays in my recording system, but when I play live, I take this little guy. It's a tiny little pedal board. Look, check this out. Hope this camera can do justice. Look at that. I have a TC Electronic Hall of Fame, which I love the sound of. I have this little wah-wah pedal. It's like an auto wah that I quite like, and then a mini wah-wah pedal, and then a delay pedal and a tuner, and that is all I take on the road, because for the most part I'm using very, very clean sounds, and just a little bit of reverb and a tiny bit of delay is all I want for the most part. Now, when I go on the road, I rent amps, because I'm not taking amps on planes, and so I usually rent Fender twin reverbs because they're pretty reliable. But in the studio, I've used this little guy for many, many years. It's an Acoustic Image Claris 2R amp head, which is super quiet and records just beautifully. There's no hum that I've got to get rid of. It's just really, really, really super quiet. And I will use one of these Razor's Edge speaker cabinet, which I'll mic. I'm not crazy about these guys live, but they do work, and you know, they're good sounding speakers. And I'll put 2 together. I have these 2 together, and I just mic one, and that is it. It's never stereo. I just mic one cabinet, and that's it. Now, I do have some Polytone amps. I wonder if you can see this. It's an old Polytone, which I don't really record with, but it's a vintage amp. I've got a bunch in my basement too. But yeah, and that's kind of it, really. Other than that, everything's over here in my studio for recording. Anyway, so that's about the size of it, guys. I hope you got something out of this. It was fun to show you my guitars and amps. And who knows what we'll do next time, but we'll continue on with the Love, Miles and Music theme. And if there's anything you particularly want to see me talk about, or Erica and I talk about, do send an email. You can go to chrisstandring.com and send me a little message, and I'd love to really give you what you're looking for. It'll be fun for us. Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye.